Oh! Hey, you guys!
How did you make the eyeball?
It's a ping pong ball.
Oh, right, okay.
Cut a ping pong ball in half and then use the acrylic paint to do.
Oh, you've gone to town on it, haven't you?
Right, welcome to the Bencha Movie Club. I'm Sloth.
I'm Ben.
Brandon.
Ben.
And in this episode, we are talking about the Goonies from 1985. Directed by Richard Donner, who done Superman, Maverick, Omen, Scrooged, Lethal Weapon. So they've done a lot of good ones, haven't they?
Yeah, like them. Excuse the wind, it's really windy here today, so if the wind comes through,
But
we can't change that.
I think that's fitting because that's what it's like in Astoria.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The wind's come here purposely for us today.
Because I went to Astoria earlier this year to visit those of the Goonies sets.
Hi, I'm standing outside the Goonies house in Astoria, where I've come especially for the podcast so I can claim money back. You can see up here, this is where one would do the truffle shuffle. I'm not gonna, obviously. I'm not big enough. But it's a beautiful town, Astoria, and that's the view you have. And it smells like Goonies as well.
The weather in Astoria was sort of like England in autumn.
Is it?
Yeah. It's like how it looks in the film. You know, it's
Yeah,
it's a little
yeah,
bit
ain't sunny
chilly,
enough.
no,
Yeah,
it's sort of like
okay.
a little coastal
Yeah.
thing. But it's really nice there. Beautiful. It's like trees. And it looks the same now as it did
Yeah,
in
I
the
like
film.
that. I like that.
Because for this, I watched the film again yesterday, and I think it's the first time I've watched it in probably about 10 years. But it's so different to me now. Because I know, well, you know, like when you watch something, if you watch a film, you imagine what is behind the camera. You imagine what streets look like and what things. I actually know now. So that when I look at the county jail, like where he escapes at the beginning,
Yeah.
that looks exactly the same. But you turn round, and that's Walsh's house, work. No, when they cycle past his dad, go, "Hi, Dad." His dad's putting up the flag,
Yeah.
and they ride right past the county jail.
So it is all close proximity to
It's
each
like,
other.
well, those two are right off facing each other.
And here I am at the county jail, where Robert Davi, one of the Fratellis, escaped. He escapes into his waiting RV with his mum, with bullet holes. And right across there, that is where Mikey's dad works, the museum.
But it's like I'm watching it, I'm thinking the size of things look different now. Because actually being there, I go, that used to look so much bigger, and that used to look like the jail cells.
Yeah.
I went in the jail cell where he hangs or pretends to hang himself, and it's so small and pokey.
Yeah.
And I'm watching it on film, and I'm like, of course it's small and pokey, but for years I look at it and I think it looks like a decent sized jail cell. So it was great. I really, really loved it. And watching so because of all this and those are the little things watching it yesterday, it was like watching it for the first time. So I actually really enjoyed it. I love the film anyway, but it's good to sort of have that new perspective on it.
Yeah. No, it's a great film. I can't believe it's taken us all this time to actually do it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a film that we loved watching growing up as kids. Must have seen it. I must have seen it at least probably, I'd say about nearly 50 times.
Yeah, I reckon.
Maybe.
Yeah, I reckon so, because
I mean, it's like it's been on, even if I walked in and like maybe one of you was watching it, or like, oh, I've watched it. Or, it's been on the telly and we've watched it. I mean, maybe. I don't know. I've seen it a load of times. I know it inside out.
Yeah, and it's one of those. It's super quotable. It's one of those ones. It's so quick paced, and like you said, sometimes you walk in and it's on, and you could sit there and it doesn't
just
matter.
start watching it.
Just watch it and watch it to the end. You know? I'm into this now. Like, oh, it's good this bit, because there's no sort of dull moments in it.
No,
there's no bits you go, oh, that's a bit slow. The bit at the beginning sort of. It quickly establishes all the characters right from the get-go.
Yeah.
Because first of all, you see the villains.
Yeah.
You know, the three who I think are all great as well.
Yeah. The whole cast is great. The whole cast. And did you know as well, also, there was lots of deleted scenes, which actually, you know, you think, oh, why was there deleted scenes? I want to see them. When you see the deleted scenes, it's good that they weren't in there.
Yeah,
Like
especially
the octopus one.
Oh god, yeah.
The movie Octopus, it would have ruined the film. It didn't look great.
No.
Whereas that film, you can't fault it at all.
No.
It's perfect. Whereas with them other scenes, it would have cheesed it up a little bit. Like I just don't think it would have worked. It's nice to be able to look at the extra scenes as a separate thing, but yeah, the way the film was edited, perfect.
Yeah, and the score as well by Dave Grusin. I love the music in it. Like I've been listening to the soundtrack since yesterday anyway. Like going to work, I listen to it on headphones, and I think it's such a fantastic soundtrack. For me, it's probably the best 80s soundtrack, I'd say.
Really? There's lots of 80s.
You
probably don't realise there's probably ones you go, oh, actually, no, I like that. There's so many 80s scores.
Well, you know how...
Howard the Duck.
Oh, I love Howard the Duck.
That's your favourite score. That's what you want on your funeral.
No, yeah, there's one bit of music in Howard the Duck I want at my funeral. But all the way through, the different moments, the bit where he's talking to him in the well, and it's sort of like... It's,
But there's lots of films in the 80s like that, though. There is a lot like that. It's good, fantastic score, really good score.
But it's definitely up there for me.
Yeah.
And I mean, Richard Donner, as I said from those films, he's a great director. Although he did make a questionable film called Twinkie back in 1970.
Never heard of that. What's that?
It stars Charles Bronson, Honor Blackman, and Susan George, who's in Straw Dogs and that.
Yeah, I know them.
Margaret in EastEnders, and she was in the Kenny Everett Show as well.
Susan George she was in a film years ago in the 60s. I think that's what she's more famous for. Yeah. I can't think what it is.
Well, this one, she plays a 16-year-old. It's about a 30-year-old American writer of pornographic novels discovers the difficulties of being married to a 16-year-old British schoolgirl.
Nice.
And apparently it's like one of those sort of, it's like the last hurrah of the 60s sort of thing. It's like, oh, look at me being a girl. And Charles Bronson, oh, God, what am I going to do? He's like, well, don't marry her, you nonce. Yeah, but he did go on to make much better things after that. This included. Yeah. The story...
Have you seen the film then? Or is that you just read about it? I mean, what's the film about?
Well, the film was about a 30-year-old American writer of pornographic novels discovers the difficulties of being married to a 16-year-old British schoolgirl.
Yeah, it don't sound like the kind of thing I want to see.
It's like an Austin Powers type thing, But back onto Goonies. Yep. The story was by Steven Spielberg.
Yep.
Who I couldn't find anything that he's done. The screenplay is by Chris Columbus.
Steven Spielberg.
Yeah. What did he do? Oh,
E.T.
Yeah.
He's done loads of stuff. Is it Raiders of the Lost Ark he done?
Yeah.
He done... Oh, come on. What else he done? Steven Spielberg's done loads of stuff.
I think that's about it.
No, he's done loads of stuff. Fuck off.
Well, this is why I didn't bother, because I thought, well, it's obvious he's done loads. Anyway, the screenplay by Chris Columbus, who also wrote Gremlins, Young Sherlock Holmes, and he's the director of Adventures in Babysitting, Home Alone and Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
and I love Adventures in Babysitting.
Yeah.
That's another good 80s one.
The film stars Sean Astin from Lord of the Rings, Josh Brolin from Avengers, Jeff Cohen, who's in The Facts of Life.
You take the good, you take the bad, you take them both, and there you have the facts of life. The facts of life.
Your favourite programme?
I've never seen it. Why do you keep saying that? I've never ever seen Facts of Life.
You sing it all the time.
No, Charles, why are you saying things like this? I don't sing it. I've never seen the thing. You're the one that was singing it, and everyone wants to go back. You see it's on the podcast that you've done. That it's in. Was it Worst Witch or something? Yeah, it's exactly. You're the one. I've never seen it. I've never seen it. It's an American thing. I've never seen it.
Corey Feldman, who's in Stand By Me.
Gremlins.
Yeah, I was literally just picked one. There's so many people. I thought I'll just name one.
Yeah, you don't go too much over.
Yeah. Kerry Green, who's in Lucas.
Yeah, I remember.
She was 17 when she done this.
Was she? I remember in Lucas. She's done a couple of films and then that's it. Because she was quite big in this and also Lucas. Then just disappeared. It's weird. Like she wasn't like a Molly Ringwald type.
No, but I thought she was great.
Yeah, she was good, and that's what I'm saying. She could have. I don't know why she just disappeared.
No, I don't know.
Maybe she gave a vaccine or just went on stage or something.
Martha Plimpton, who's in Parenthood.
Yeah.
She was 13 when they started filming it.
Was she really?
Now I thought but obviously there's a big age gap between her and Kerry Green.
And she's taller than Kerry Green as well, I think, isn't she?
Yeah, she comes across as quite tall. Yeah, and it's
she comes across at the same age.
But only watching it now, knowing that, I was thinking, actually, you know what? They've made her look older, but you can see by her face she looks actually quite youthful.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Ki Hugh Kwan, who's in Everything Everywhere All at Once, and he's the only one there to win an Oscar. Best Supporting Actor. You got John Matuszak, who plays Sloth.
Yes.
He's mostly in TV stuff like Miami Vice, A-Team, MASH. His makeup for Sloth took 5 hours to do. So mine took 5 minutes.
Yeah, I think his is a bit better than yours though.
He died of heart failure at age 38, probably caused by an overdose of pain medication and pneumonia, although he also had cocaine in his system.
38?
It was only a few years after this.
Oh really?
Yeah. He was like an American football player, but you could see he's like a big guy. He didn't really look like that.
No, alright. It's like Mask, isn't it? That's a good film, Mask. You seen that?
Yeah. Somebody stop me!
No, Mask. The one with Cher and Eric Stoltz. Rocky Dennis. He had the, I can't think what it was called. It's sort of like what the Elephant Man had. It's a really good film. Anyway, it's gone.
You've got Robert Davi from Die Hard, Joe Pantoliano from The Matrix, and Anne Ramsey from Throw Mama from the Train. They're the Fratellis. She sadly died of throat cancer, age 59. In fact, there was loads of people who died, not them, but other people. I'm not going to read them all out, but there are loads of people who died from cancer. Mary Ellen Trainor, Keith Walker, Charles McDaniel, Bill Bradley, Jim Ross, Newt Arnold, Jack O'Leary, Orwin C. Harvey, even Keenan Wynn, who was Chester Copperpot, who's you only see a photo of, who died of cancer. But yeah, going back to those villains, I really love those villains. Like watching it as an adult, you sort of appreciate the chemistry between them three as well.
Yeah.
You got like the mum, like mum says it's her and her kids. She says you're Sloth.
Yeah, I gathered that.
But because he's the nice one, that's what she says. Because he's the nice one, and me.
It should be you because you're the bald one.
No, she says the other two is me and Joe. Well, he's bald, isn't he? Joe Pantoliano, who wears the toupee. And because where them two used to fight all the time, she goes, "Oh bloody, it's like you and George all the time."
All right, I'll be Sloth then. All right.
The one who all the kids like.
Yeah, all right. Yeah. I'll be Sloth.
Yeah, do you know Heaven Langenkamp auditioned to be Andy?
Oh, did she?
But they said she was too old. I think she was about 20.
Yeah, she was too old. No, perfect cast. I think the whole cast is great.
So what I like about all the characters, the kids, because I'm not a fond person of kids. I don't really. Kids often get on my nerves. And
yeah, when you're a kid, they was kids, so they wouldn't have got on your nerves.
Yeah, so maybe it's just me remembering things. But looking at it, they're not annoying kids.
No,
you know, they've just got different personalities.
Yeah.
So you got there's Mouth, who's obviously like the one who's just doing practical jokes and sarcastic comments. And he has that bit where he sticks his tongue through the
painting.
We should have done that to your canvas.
Yeah.
Mikey, who's sort of like the sort of like fantasist, his dream is, we can do this. And you got Data, the little invention guy. Chunk, the little funny like. I actually think he was the best actor out of all of them. Only slightly. They're all great actors, but I think because some of the bits, like where he's sort of like they're torturing him, or they're going to put his hand in the blender, and he's when I was a kid, and
oh no, he is.
Out of all of them, he's the one who had less of a career.
Yeah,
because he went on.
But he looks completely different now. Didn't he lose loads of weight?
Yeah, he did. But I don't think that he didn't pursue a career in acting because. I don't think it was because he didn't get the roles. I think he just chose not to.
A lot of youngsters, funny enough, who are in big, like, sort of, like, fantastic, like, iconic movies, tend to just do that film, and you think, why comes they never done anything else? It's like, but they just suddenly go, oh, I've done it now.
Yeah.
You know, and that's it, I'm bothered about it. They've obviously thought, no, this ain't really for me. And they've just completely changed their career.
But he became an entertainment lawyer.
Oh, okay.
He was actually Ki Hugh Kwan's entertainment lawyer. He done his contract for Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Okay.
So this is why
are they all still friends then?
Oh yeah, they're best mates.
Oh, nice one.
But they're all friends. They all call each other like they're Goonie friends.
I've seen like a reunion, I think, with all of them, and they all seem close.
Yeah.
And there must be a bond because it was such a big thing, and to have like that all go through. It's like with Friends cast.
Yeah.
Like you know, when you've got something, you're part of some ensemble. And it's lovely that you've all have gone through it at the same time, so you all know what it's like to have been part of that. That's why it's nice.
It's never guaranteed. Sometimes it's always like, oh, that one was the odd one out, or this one, they didn't get on these two. It's like the.
But that's why it's nice when they all do.
Robert Davi and Joe Pantoliano didn't get on.
I don't know.
But it works better for the film because then when they're sort of pushing each other in the face and stuff like that, they kept getting each other back. They was really sort of going for it, so it looks more realistic. It's sort of like you can see they're like, it feels like sibling rivalry for it. But yeah, when he won the Oscar, he mentioned him.
And my Goonies brother for life, Jeff Cohen.
And Corey Haim auditioned for Mouth.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he was in Lucas, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Corey Haim.
Yeah,
he auditioned for the part of Mouth, and that's actually. Auditioning for this is where he met Corey Feldman because they became best mates.
Yeah, he had a sad life, didn't he? According to Sean Austin, he was allowed to keep the treasure map used in the film. Several years later, his mother, Patty Duke, discovered it, thought it was a crinkled piece of paper and threw it in the bin.
That's the kind of thing our mum would do. I had to take that off because the elastic band's digging in my head.
Yeah, I think you've had the effect now. You took the eyeball out after about a minute, so...
Going back to the beginning, so obviously you see the villains, and as they're racing through the town, I think it's a great way to introduce the cast because you see each of the characters doing something different. And it sort of shows off their personalities, whether it's like Kerry Green doing the cheerleading, Chunk in the sort of diner with the food, like the pizza and the thing squeezed up against the thing.
What's the other girl getting the crabs or something in it?
Yeah, Stephanie sticking her head in the crab thing. Data doing his little thing, and also Mouth. Watching,
Chunk eating.
But Mouth watching the TV, the old black and white sort of car chase thing. Did you see what film that was?
No.
Something Like It Hot.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. Okay. You know the beginning of Something Like It Hot when it's got the car chase?
Yeah.
I never noticed it before.
No.
But it's only watching
I never noticed it.
because I've only seen Something Like It Hot recently for the podcast.
Yeah.
And
you've never seen that before, had you?
No. The kids are called Goonies because they're kids from the poor part of Astoria, which is called the Goondocks. So that's why they're called the Goonies.
Okay. When rocks are falling from the cave, Data screams, "Holy S-H-I-T." Ki Hu Kwan said he spelled the expletive because his mother made him promise not to use any bad language in the film.
Yeah. Which they've got 19 shits in it.
But they've also, I noticed as well, I did read this, that they've put all the swear words at points where they're easily dubbable.
Yeah.
Over like sort of like there's like
something's falling.
Yeah, there's like a sort of tap running, or there's a television playing. There's something so they can always drown the swear words out, so it doesn't ruin. Like when they cut the words, it doesn't ruin the look of the film.
Talking about the deleted scenes, here's another ridiculous one. Like, you know, the octopus one was obviously a bit stupid. There was a scene in which the kids are banging on the pipes. It causes animals in a zoo to escape, and 2 gorillas steal that Troy's car.
No, but that's what I'm saying. See, that's. I'm so glad none of that kind of shit was in it.
Yeah,
I
mean, obviously there is some sort of fantastical elements to it. You think, I mean, if you broke it down and go, well, would that happen and would this happen? But what we're left with in the film is realistic enough that you can.
I think it's taken away from the. You know, it's big enough story as it is, and that just takes away from it. You don't need to.
No.
At around 46 minutes, when the Fratelli brothers argued, Anne Ramsey really slapped Robert Davey. She was told to hit him as hard as she could.
I mean that.
I would be if I was in a film and I'd go to people like when we done that music video, and I said to the girls, and they was hitting me when I was all tied up, you know, the strippers, and I said, and they was going, oh, like I said, you can hit me, I don't care. Like I wasn't getting off on it, but they was like, each time they'd go cut. They go, oh, you okay? I said, yeah, I'm fine. I was gagged up at the time, so I was going, stop! Yeah. No, but I was like, you want it to look realistic, so I don't really care, you know, as long as I don't physically get properly hurt.
If you was doing a play, it'd be different because you think, I'm not doing this every night. It's because you start being jerk reaction. But if you're in a movie in the scene and it doesn't look right, say to him, right, look, you know what, just hit me for real this time.
Yeah.
You know, it's
because you want it to look. You don't want to look back at it and go, no, don't work.
But she does slap him hard.
Yeah.
Because I know the bit you're talking about.
Well, she said to do it hard as she could, so she really did.
But he probably thought, oh, she's only a little woman. How hard can it be? And she goes crack, and you see it.
But then the reaction from him would have been real as well.
Yeah, because he starts crying. He's like, all right, mum. And you can see actually the other brother smirking, because obviously in real life, if they weren't getting on that well, he's probably going, yeah, good.
Yeah. The pirate ship was entirely real. All the shots were filmed in the ship. After the film, it was offered to anyone who could take it. No one wanted it, so the ship was scrapped. That's a shame. Wow. That would have been in some museum thing, go to the real Goonies ship and all that. That would have been brilliant.
You know what they could have done? I mean, if it was up for grabs, say like Disney, right?
Yeah.
So Disney have like the big lakes and stuff like that, and they've got their pirate ship that people can just say, we'll have it and we'll stick it in the corner. And people go, oh look, there's another pirate ship in the corner. It just sort of adds to the background, doesn't it? If you've got the space.
That's mental.
Oh.
Probably, I reckon the thing is, they could have kept it Astoria because they, as you said, they've made a big thing of the Goonies for Astoria because it brings a lot of tourism.
Yeah, they
could have had that, and it could have been like a sort of like a little museum thing. They could have earned money off that.
Yeah,
they could have gone, come and get it. Like they could have had it all roped off, so you can only walk around certain bits, and you can go, that's the table, one-eyed Willie there, and all this kind of stuff.
You know, like how you got the Cutty Sark. You just literally have that down by. I mean, I like what they've done with the county jail in Astoria is the museum there. So you go in there, and there's one-eyed Willies in there. You see Data's costume. You see all the little props from the film and stuff, and it's great. I like that they've owned it. You know, they've thought. I mean, okay, there might not be a lot more else to Astoria. It's a beautiful town.
But that's probably the reason why.
Are beautiful.
I know, but that's probably the reason why they welcome the tourism because it probably brings a lot of money in. There's like, so someone has to work in that shop, like the souvenir place. Someone has to do like maybe a guide thing. Someone, you know, so it brings money in. And it's probably because it's such a successful film. People like yourself who go, let's go there because that's where Goonies was filmed.
But as of 2015, the woman who owns the Goonies house has stopped people coming into the house. She used to let people come in the house and they'd
well, someone's obviously sort of like taking the piss then, isn't they?
Yeah, or written on someone. Yeah, but this is the thing. If you got to that point, because I remember when we went to Albuquerque and see all the Breaking Bad stuff, and the Breaking Bad house and all signs, this is private property, stay off, blah blah blah. And I said the same thing about this. If it got that bad, I'd sell the house, buy a very similar house. Like on the same street, which you'd make so much money selling that house. The Goonies house has got to be the most valuable house on that street.
Of course it has.
Because of its association with film. Same
but then also, the people, it needs to be someone who don't mind all that to buy it. Because someone might look and go, oh, I love that house, and they go, oh, I'm not having all their attention that's going to be daily. You know, people are standing outside my door, trying to walk up to my path just so they can get up to the door.
Or they could do like the Astoria itself could buy the house and then turn that into like a museum as well. You know, coupled with the county jail one, they'll share the time between them. They have little Goonies tours because just down from the house you've got a big sign with like Goonies this way to the Goonies house and this way here. So people they know people can stand outside doing the truffle shuffle and stuff.
It's an iconic film. June the 7th was officially declared Goonies Day by Willis Van Dusen, who was the mayor of Astoria at the time, during the 25th anniversary celebration in 2010.
Yeah, well, it'd be 40 years next year.
Time's going so quick.
Yeah.
I remember when it came out, I got that on video. It was a copy. Because, as I say, when we was younger, we got videos. Oh, actually, no, did I tape it off of the cable?
Well, we had the case.
I bought it. I would have bought it then. I would have bought it, yeah.
But you know when the film takes place?
Where?
What date?
I know. Where is it?
So the events of the film actually take place on October 26th, 1985. So you can work it out because based on the newspaper and what day of the week it is. So you know.
And when was the film released? 85 as well, wasn't it?
Yeah. But do you know what the significance of that date?
No.
That's the Back to the Future date again.
Oh.
That's the day that Marty McFly goes back in time. October 26th.
And is that on purpose?
Well, they're both produced by Steven Spielberg.
Oh, right, yeah.
So it's a theory that they're all inside the same
like an
universe.
Easter egg thing, isn't it?
But it's they're all inside the same Spielberg universe. And
That's the same you said with Carrie and Stand By Me.
yeah, they're in the same universe. They're in the Stephen King universe.
Yeah, because there's like when Carrie officially blows up the
She blows up a garage or something.
yeah, and all
to do
this,
with,
and it's supposed to be the bloke from Stand By Me's garage when he's older.
yeah. Well, all the Stephen King films and all the Stephen King novels are in the same universe. They're all in the same world.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to live in that universe, would you?
No. Actually, Death Becomes Her as well. Do you remember Death Becomes Her? I said that the date that Goldie Hawn takes the thing was on October 26th, 1985.
Oh, really? So I don't notice things like that.
Yeah.
I don't notice things like that. That wind is really bad.
Yeah.
We're going to get swept up in a tornado. This would have been good for Wizard of Oz.
Yeah. Michael Jackson visited the set
Yeah.
because he was friends with Corey Feldman.
Yeah.
But there's a bit in the film when it says, "Oh, the time you said Michael Jackson came round for tea or something," and Sean goes, "No, but his sister did." The song "Good Enough" by Cyndi Lauper, that was actually created like about 6 months after the film had finished shooting.
Oh, did it really?
Yeah, so the bit where she's on the TV,
Was
that's
added?
added in.
I love the way her mouth goes on that TV bit. It just goes like proper. It's like, how have you made your mouth go to that shape? It's like it's when you see the video on the telly, and it just goes like proper like.
Have you ever seen the music video to "Good Enough"?
Yeah, it's crap.
It's like
I'd rather see the one that was on the telly on there. The one it's got all the Goonies running around with her.
But
And all
they
that.
make
It's
like
just
a big
weird.
story of it. It's like too long.
It's cheesy.
But rather than just do one video, they then do a second video to it as well,
Yeah.
don't they? So like, and it's all WWF wrestlers for some reason.
Yeah.
I think it's just because WWF wrestlers were suddenly big at the time,
Yeah, no,
and
I
she was
reckon-
good mates with a wrestler. So he said, "Oh, I can get a whole bunch in the video." She goes, "Yeah, great. Guess what, Spielberg?" And he's thought, "Oh, well, okay, it's a music video. Who watches music videos?" Because it was the infant days of music videos, wasn't it?
The cast was not allowed to see the pirate ship before the scene was shot because director Richard Donner wanted to catch their genuine reactions at the size and scope of it. When they did see it, Josh Brolin was so surprised that he exclaimed, "Holy shit, the scene had to be reshot."
Well, they say it in it. Say shit enough as it is.
And mostly shot in sequence, the total production took 5 months. And
So, I mean, it's a big production. Let me just state some of the things you just said. Rolling it off. And this and that and that. IMDb score, blah, blah, blah. When I was watching it yesterday, funny enough, with the bit where they because they go down that water slide, don't they? Which looks fun anyway.
Yeah.
It must have been fun to shoot.
Yeah.
And then they land in the water and then they see the ship. They're like, "Oh my God." And they all look at the ship. And it cuts to the ship and with the score building and stuff. I actually got goose pimples. I thought, wow, because I was there. I was imagining it. You know, I was right in the moment of the film again for
so
the
you
first
think
time
this has
in
been your
years.
most effective time of watching it because of you've seen where
Since
it's
I was a
been?
kid, definitely.
Really?
And watching it, it was like, again, watching it for the first time. And when you give a big gap of something, you know, sometimes you love a film and you watch it too much. You know, it's like American Wife in London, I probably watched too much.
But you still love it.
I still love it.
Well, I've seen films too much, but I still love them.
I think if I denied myself watching American Wife in London for 10 years and then went back to it, it would be, wow, it'd be so much more for me. I mean, it's still my favourite film, but I had that effect with Goonies and I didn't realise it had been so long, because I know Lily would have watched this, so that's what I'm saying, it's about 10 years. And coupled with the fact that I'd actually been there, it was like watching the film for the first time.
Yeah.
Knowing what's going to happen, but still getting really wrapped up in it and loving all the little lines. There's so many little tiny, like they're talking over each other a lot, the kids.
Yeah.
And apparently it was a madhouse, like a bit when they get up and they run up to the attic, they actually knock the camera and the camera moves a bit. But there's tiny little comments, little jokes they say, like, no, and he goes, no, they break off the knob off of the David.
Yeah.
Brandon says something like, "Oh, it's my mum's favourite piece." And then Mouth goes, "Well, you wouldn't be here if it wasn't."
Yeah.
And
I've never heard that bit.
Yeah, but I only caught it so yesterday. "Oh, you wouldn't be here if it wasn't."
One-Eyed Willy's skull was made out of real bone.
Yeah.
I don't think it can't be someone's actual skull. But
Yeah. Those are the skeleton. I think Chester Copperpot was the only completely fake skeleton, but the other skeletons were. It's easier just to get real skeletons. So all those pirates sitting around the table. But I heard that One-Eyed Willy's one was actually from a man named Raoul Wu, who died of lead poisoning. I also went to Cannon Beach, which you know at the beginning when they're getting chased, and they get on that beach and they're all racing along with the cars, and you see those big massive rocks in the background, which are even bigger in real life. I took a photo, but it doesn't do it justice. It's like Godzilla coming out of the water. But that's actually 26 miles away from Astoria. Yeah. So that car chase would have gone on for like another half hour.
Production designer J. Michael River said the National said in an interview that when he had the prop map, he thought it looked good, but it didn't look old enough. So in his hotel room, he aged it with coffee, and when he couldn't find paint, he used his own blood.
That's commitment.
Yeah, it's
real filmmaking.
Yeah.
And that map, if you notice, it actually looks, when they first get it, you can see all the edges and everything. It actually looks more burnt later on, and that's because of a deleted scene. Because there's a scene where the kids, they first escape and they go into they go into like a little convenience store, and the kids are in the convenience store, Chunk's eating ice cream and stuff, and they're looking at magazines. That Troy comes in there and he gets the map, he gets like Mikey in a headlock, gets the map, and he pretends to smoke it like a reefer, burns the end of the map. And then Brandon comes in and sort of throws that Troy up against the side, so which explains why that's gone on. And then Troy goes off with the two girls and they sort of like shrug along.
The bats were made out of crumpled black pieces of crepe paper. Is it crepe paper? And they were shot out of an air cannon.
I didn't say that again.
Right. The bats were made out of crumpled pieces of black crepe paper. That was shot out of crepe paper. That was shot out of an air cannon.
I mean, some of them you can see where it's got close-up ones, they've got sort of fully designed ones. But that makes sense. It's funny saying that, because there's the bit where, because they're literally about to do Chunk's hand because they don't believe him that the kids have gone down the hole. And obviously then the bats come shooting out the thing. And when that happened, I thought, wow, that looked really good. Like, the effect of it.
Because the blast towards them.
The irony is, if the film had been made 20 years later, so say like in 2004, they would have used CGI bats, which now, when you watch it, would look terrible. Yeah. Whereas because they use practical in-camera effects,
it always looks better.
Oh yeah. Every film you see, like if I ever made it as a filmmaker, I'd use practical effects.
Yeah, I wouldn't use any CGI.
The only time I would ever rely on any kind of CGI is if in post-production, like, that doesn't quite look right. Can we touch it up a little bit, and does it look okay?
Like even Titanic and things like that, which is an amazing film. Now you look and you can see when they've added CGI people on the boat when they're scanning out, when they're panning out of it, and it's like, but you just try not to look at it because you don't want to sort of ruin the effects of the film, do you?
Yeah. Well, it was with this, and loads of films like this, you don't have to, because the human eye is too clever. Yeah. People can. I mean, CGI is getting to a ridiculous stage now, and when you look at AI things and people post videos of like a celebrity saying something outrageous, you go, that's not.
That's why a lot of people now will use that as an excuse. So I never said that. That was AI. I guarantee. If people are caught doing something, going, no, it weren't me. It was AI. I bet you a lot of people are going to try and use that. Jeff Cohen got the chicken pox after he got the role of Chunk. He showed up on the set anyway, afraid that he would have been replaced.
Yeah, when he's doing the truffle shuffle, apparently you can see some little spots. See that? I like this poster. This is one of the posters in my room. That's the best poster. Because you got.
I'll put it on my wall.
You got that one as well.
It's on my wall over here. You can see it.
Oh yeah, right there. Yeah. But see, that's like
that's the classic one, but I prefer that one.
Yeah, because that it's much more dynamic, and it's better when posters actually used to look so good. Nowadays, posters just literally stick all the cast on there, and they're all sort of standing there posing, like family outing. But with this, one, when it was running newspaper ads, they actually had them in different orders depending on what newspaper they was in.
Oh really?
So there's multiple versions of this particular.
That's the same as Bencha's Babysitting.
Yeah.
Because there's the one with the bloke and she's hanging on to the bloke, which is crap.
Yeah.
And it's missing a girl or something. It's missing one of the main characters, one of the children.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't. Yeah, the little girl. Because the little girl was hanging on to her neck, but where she's hanging on to the bloke's neck, it don't look right. It's not the same. Richard Donner kept both One-Eyed Willie's head and a model for the ship.
Right, so obviously at the end of the film, they're they're going to have to sell the Goondocks, aren't they? Or they're going to. Everyone's selling their houses to like the rich people.
Yeah.
And then the Spanish woman finds.
I like her. She's funny.
She finds the things. No vitamin, no mineral. No. Oh, it's great that scene as well. No, when Mouth's translating for her. You got to keep the cocaine and the heroin all separate. Yeah. And again, sometimes on TV they change the subtitles on that, or they get rid of the subtitles altogether, so you don't know what it's saying. They talk about the sex dungeon in the attic and stuff. But when she's telling them the stuff, and they've got the bag of jewels, and you think, well, those jewels must be worth a lot of money. They haven't got to sell the house. Often, I used to look at the ship, because then they look at the ship going out, and you think, wow, there's that ship. So all that treasure's on there. Surely someone's going to sail out and ravage the ship and stuff. But according to maritime salvage claims, the person or persons to first remove goods can claim everything on the ship. So even though they've only got the jewels, that's enough by maritime law that they can claim everything on there.
Oh, right.
So it's not just that they've got everything, every bit of jewellery on there.
Oh, well, that's interesting.
Yeah. Which is a nice way to end the film, which I hope they don't make the sequel.
Well, no, definitely will, not now.
No,
if it does,
they've said they are next year. They're making
with the real cast.
With the real cast, but what's the point? They're old. It's not the same thing. No. This is the magic of being a child, of going on adventures. Yeah. Like the idea behind it.
Well, look, let's just hope. Who's writing it? Is it the same writers and directors?
They won't.
Well, look, listen. Look, at the end of the day,
half the cast is dead.
You can always.
The main ones ain't, but like.
No, but all the children.
Sloth's dead.
Okay.
And Mama Fratelli's
they might
dead.
be able to do a new Sloth, mightn't they? Actually, no.
You would not be able to recapture the magic. No. If they remade it, it would be garbage. If they make a sequel, it would be garbage.
Yeah, well, it usually is. But then it gets forgotten. It gets forgotten.
Well, hopefully, but what I don't like, and this came up, I was talking to Sonny about like sequels, how they destroy the original. A bad sequel can actually tarnish the original. It's like I used to watch. Me and Carol, I used to watch Zoolander a lot. We used to really like it. The first Zoolander is really funny. Then about 10 years later, they made part 2, and we was oh brilliant. You watch part 2, and it's garbage.
Really?
Now I don't want to watch part 1 because I know I like the open ending. I like how
I like a one-off film because even if you want, and the thing is, usually you go, oh, I'd love there to be a part 2. I'd love there to be a part 2, but it's like it just leaves you wanting more, and you really shouldn't have a part 2.
Sometimes you've got to just stop and go.
That's it.
But it's not just with
most series, like Friends. Like,
I was about to say with Only Fools and Horses.
Only Fools and Horses.
I loved when they became millionaires.
It should have stopped there. Everyone says that. It should have stopped there because I'll tell you why as well. Because with Only Fools and Horses, that is when it started is when they got the watch. So that whole journey you've watched of them has been they've had that watch all that time.
And the whole story of Fools and Horses is them trying to make it, and they never make it. They never make it. And the very last episode, they make it as millionaires. And you think, oh, I wonder what their life would be like.
It should have been.
But unfortunately, the majority of people are morons and will go, oh, I want more. And you have then they, oh, well, we've got to get rid of their money. And you think, well, that's just undone, all that hard work.
Yeah.
You know? And the ones they made after that.
The ones they made after that, if they'd come before, would have been fine. Because they're good. They've all got good bits about them. But that last, it should have ended with millionaires. And then him going, oh no, Rodney, next time we'll be billionaires, and it ends like that. And I think it would have been that would have been fantastic, you know. But all the main characters are referred to by nicknames, and their real names are Mikey is Michael Walsh, Mouth is Clark Devereaux, Data is Richard Wang, Brand is Brandon Walsh, Chunk is Lawrence Cohen, Andy is Andrea Teresa Carmichael, Steph is Stephanie Steinbrenner, and Sloth is Lotley Fratelli. Lotley Fratelli. It's interesting to see what weird their names, isn't it, I suppose, really?
Yeah. So people usually call me Char.
Well, I call you Char. I'll call you Char, don't I?
People call you Benji Bedbanger.
I just ignored that.
What I like about this is the best of this kind of film, especially from the 80s. There was loads of good ones. There There was other ones which were like child orientated. There was like the more serious sort of like Stand By Me, or there was like the
Adventures in
Babysitting, or there was like the sci-fi like ones. There was like Flight of the Navigator. And what's the other one? It had Ethan Hawke in it. There was one I think it had River Phoenix, Ethan Hawke.
12 seconds later.
And I know at the time as well, soon after this, they went to make part 2. And there was actually a computer game called Goonies.
Ethan Hawke, no?
Just look up Ethan Hawke on IMDb and I'll find it. They was going to make a Goonies 2 soon after this. And there's actually a computer game called Goonies 2.
Well, it'll be one of his earlies, won't it?
Yeah. And the influence of this... Even now, they're trying to recapture it. There's a film coming out soon called Skeleton Crew, which is a new Star Wars property. It might be a film, it might be a series. But it's you can see watching the trailer. Everyone who's watching the trailer goes, "Oh, that's basically trying to be Goonies."
Explorers.
Yes,
that's it. This is the first film. Explorers.
What else is in there? What year was that? 85, same year.
River Phoenix, probably Fight, yeah. I've heard of it. I don't think I've seen it.
Yeah.
Oh, I must have seen it. I think I've seen the Explorers. Yeah, I would have seen it.
Yeah, so the Explorers, which is a good one as well. But again, Goonies was for me was the number one. And watching it yesterday, it might just be where I'm sort of all wrapped up in it now. 80s is my favourite film decade.
I think it's very good for children type films, kid films, teen films. Best decade, because like there was all the John Hughes stuff, and there was a lot for like teenagers, and there was a lot for kids.
But see, like
Back to the Future and all that. We had some brilliant films in the 80s.
See, me and Mum watched this yesterday, and it's hard to get her to watch anything because she's off in the world and stuff. But she gets vested in it. She's seen this film hundreds of times. But it's such a well-made film. I
think 80s, we had some really good films in the 80s.
And I would say, and this is a bold claim, this would be my top 10 80s films, I'd say.
Your top 10 80s films?
Obviously, you have American Wolf in London, would be in it. Aliens, RoboCop. They're like 3 of my favourite films of all time. Back to the Future. Goonies is definitely in there. And that's, as I said, if I've sat there and thought about it, there's so many good 80s films, which it would be hard, but I'm confident this would be so high because I have such good memories of it, and it still does hold up. Because as I said, I watched it yesterday and I was sort of wrapped up in it again.
It's an old film. Usually, some films you look and go, it's not really aged that well. It's not as good now. This is a classic. This is like looking at sort of like things like Oliver, Annie, Bugsy Malone. It's like they're always going to have a place because they're never going to be, because they stand alone.
Yeah,
they're of a time and they've got a different feel. It's like us watching I like watching old black and white films sometimes because it's a different feel and it's just going back to a different time, and that's why a lot of people love the 80s and they go back to this kind of stuff.
Yeah,
and they always will.
It's littered with so many tiny details that it, like I said, that watching it yesterday was the first time I noticed that he's watching Some Like It Hot at the beginning.
Yeah. So I haven't noticed any things in it. I just know the film. I've never noticed little.
But some of the lines that were said in it, I thought, I didn't catch that before, but watching it now. So it's definitely worth watching again.
Definitely. I will watch it again. Around 1 hour 45 minutes in the final sequence, when the police and reporters are asking the kids what they went through in their journey, Data states the octopus was very scary. In the final cut of the film, that line was left in there, but the scene of them fighting the octopus was cut from the final film, which I said when you see it, because when I heard about that, I was, there's a bit of an octopus, I thought, that was brilliant.
No,
but you could see it was like rubber,
and he beats it by sticking a Walkman in its mouth.
Yeah,
this the
cheeses it up. I don't think it wouldn't have carried through. You'd have looked and thought, it's dated now.
Yeah, and everything else they're saying at the end beach bit, when they go, on the pirate ship and the stuff, you think, that happened. What's he talking about? An octopus? He's full of shit. You know. So I always used to think when I was a kid, he's lying, he's trying to get attention or something. So it sort of takes away from his character, because his character isn't the bullshitter. Chunk's the bullshitter.
Yeah.
And he makes a reference actually to another Spielberg one, probably in the same universe, Gremlins, another great 80s one. Yeah. Because where he says,
it's brilliant ones. I mean, the list is non-stop.
But when he's talking to when Chunk's talking to the cop, and he goes, "Oh yeah," and he says, "Yeah, all right, Chunk. Is this like the time you said about those little monsters that multiply when you get water on them?"
Yeah.
Well, obviously a reference to Gremlins, which is probably in the same universe because it's Spielberg produced.
Yeah, no, but it's a fantastic film. I love the film still, and it's just a nice escape when you're sitting there watching it. It is a little escape. It's like, it takes you back to a time. As I say, I think with me, it takes me back to a time young when I see it, and I was blown away by it when I see it, and it's still amazing to this day.
And you know why I also think of it's of its time? It's because, do you remember in the 80s, right, as a kid, and it's before the internet, before like multiple channels and stuff, you would be bored, and you would go out and play with your friends, and you'd go on these, you'd make up adventures in your head. You go, oh, imagine if we went down there and we found this kind of stuff. It taps into that. Whereas modern day kids would be like sitting in their room playing a computer game.
Yeah.
They don't need to go out on an adventure and find treasure. Whereas
I think that is better.
Yeah, oh no, 100%. I think boredom creates creativity.
Yeah, but I think people's creativity has been dumbed down now. I think everyone's got a short attention span of about 5 seconds. Because like on TikTok, for example, you scrolling. No one has got an attention span that lasts that long now, and people are just we're changing. Exactly. We're changing as a society.
And I think it's because we're given too much stuff.
Yeah.
There is too much choice, and there's too many options,
and we're not using it correctly.
And you know, like when you go, right, I better save that series and that series and that series and that film and that film, and you never get round to watching them.
No.
It's like you're bombarded with so much stuff. You don't need to be creative. Whereas when you was a kid and you think, imagine that, imagine
I
this.
had an imagination when I was younger. I used to sort of imagine things. I used to make things and do stuff. Like, I don't see kids doing anything like that now.
No. This is why I don't tend to watch TV series as much.
You used to draw and all that when you was younger, and you used to, like with your turtles things, you'd make like big sort of, you'd set up a scene of some sort, and you know, like kids used to play out, and then you'd play out with all your mates out the front. Yeah. You don't see kids playing out no more. It's like, I just think it's sad.
It is sad, and I think it will come to a point where people should, or most, like, you know, it won't be for everyone, but most people should clock on and go, you know what, let's have less of this.
You know, some families do that and they go, right, you're only allowed this amount of computer, or you can only do this, you can only do that. But still, it's like...
And you know what's making it worse as well? The AI stuff, because there was some, this executive at some companies was bragging about, in 10 years' time, you're going to have about 800% more stuff to watch because AI is going to make it so we can make things instantly. And I just thought, that sounds so sad. That sounds like...
It's going to be like, was it Ready Player One?
Yeah.
Where they're in boxes, they're in containers with these virtual reality headsets on.
Yeah. And
that is what people's lives are going to be.
Oh, remember this and remember that and remember that.
Living of past memories or other people's memories.
Or like Wall-E. Everyone's just going to be fat in chairs watching TV over and over, being fed stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's how it's all going now. I mean, obesity is higher now because of things like all these Just Eat, Deliveroo kind of apps, which come out during COVID. Because usually you could get like takeaways, but you'd only be able to get like an Indian, or you'd be able to get a Chinese. Yeah. But you'd also have to pay. You'd have to phone them. Yeah. You'd have to then pay cash. Yeah. And you'd have to give your card details over the phone, which no one liked doing that. So. Or you could get a kebab, and that was it. You couldn't get McDonald's or Burger King or Subway or bloody Greggs or any. You couldn't get none of that. No. And the thing is now, you could sit there and go, oh fuck it, I'm just going to get something to eat because it's delivered in your house in about 20 minutes. Yeah. And it's the easiness of it, and it's like, but too many people are doing that now. Yeah, you have to deny yourself stuff. You have to sometimes go, you know what, I'm going to walk that extra mile. I'm going to do this. I'm not going to eat that today. No. I'm going to deny myself this and try to do something practical each day. Yeah. And, you know, switch off from social media. So, but it's easier said than done because everyone else is doing that. Do you know? It's hard. Yeah. The IMDb for this is 7.7 out of 10. Should be higher, but yeah. All right. The Rotten Tomatoes, the critics gave it 77%, and the audience gave it 91%. That's more like it, yeah. I thought the critics would have been higher, but no, but there are some. It's one of those things. Unless one of the kids gets cancer halfway through, they'll sort of look down on it. And the budget was $19 million. Yeah. And it made $125 million. So it made like 100 million.
well done.
Yeah,
and it deserved it.
Yeah.
And you think 19 million, you could see every penny of that on the screen because it's the sets and the design, everything about it is fantastic.
Yeah.
And I pray that something goes wrong with them developing that sequel and it just never finds.
Well, it's the same as American Wealth in London too, and that went out in the cards for a while.
Well, they did make a part 2, didn't they? American Wealth in Paris.
Oh no, but I'm talking about the remake of American Wealth in London.
Yeah,
how can you remake that film?
The last I heard, it's not happening, which is good because I know it went through various different directors, and I hope they never remake it.
Well, I know when they remade Carrie, now that's disappeared. That one, the original will always stay because that is sometimes they've just got a touch about. I think it may be to do with the time they was filmed, the era, the look and the feel of the film. Whereas that new Carrie hasn't got doesn't come anywhere near the original Carrie.
No,
it's like everything about it is like it just feels like a cheap TV version of it. Where that other one has got a lot of. It just feels you can feel it. I love that other one, you know. But the what's the name one? No, not at all. The new one. But I think that's what happens with remakes and sequels to stuff. You end up just trying to block them out, and you think, well, it didn't happen. That ain't what happened. You know, so just leave films as they are, one-offs.
You know, most of them actually, they went through a big hiatus of not doing anything. Corey Feldman obviously he probably had the most successful child actor's career.
Corey, what's his name? Sean Austin. He's been in lots of films as an adult, like he was in 50 First Dates.
They went for this big empty bit, and then as adults, they've rediscovered fame because Sean Astin, like you said, 50 First Dates, Lord of the Rings films.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's won the Oscar for Everything Everywhere All at Once, and Josh Brolin, he done nothing for ages, and then suddenly came back. No Country for Old Men, Men in Black 3, the Marvel films. He's huge now.
But she was quite big in the 80s as well. That Martha Plimpton, she was in like a few films.
Yeah.
She sort of carried on and then just sort of stopped. I think maybe when she went to her 30s or 40s maybe, but I think she probably still does stuff. But
oh no, she does. Yeah,
you don't. There's nothing that you go, oh, I've seen that new film with her in it. You probably wouldn't even. A lot of people wouldn't know her name. They'd look and go, oh, that's her at Goonies. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, no, really, really good film. Love this film, and I can't believe it's taken this long for us to do it.
So next week we're going to do a Christmas competition to see what is the best Christmas film. We did do a top 10 last year with Mum judging it, and you know I weren't happy with that. So now what we're going to do is pick,
because she was picking me, my ones.
I know. We'll pick the 16 most popular Christmas movies, and we'll pick them at random from a thing and put them head to head and find out which one is the best one. And we'll probably get Lily in just to be the third vote, because if otherwise we'll just be like, well, I think this one's better.
Yeah.
I'll say like,
well, she's going to go with you, isn't she?
I think It's a Wonderful Life's better, and you'll say, well, I think The Holiday's better, and I'll be like, whatever.
Okay, all right, well that's good. So it's Christmas week then next week. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
So see you next week.
All right, see you later. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Please like, subscribe, and share.
Take the bad, you take them both, and there you have the facts of life. The facts of life.